Welcome back. If you haven't been following, you know that there are lots of episodes out there with good information about Flexique products in the Flexique Fridays playlist. This one's going to be short. Yeah. We're going to talk about Flexique on non-food products. So let's jump right in and start. The first one is burlap. You know that brides often like to have the burlap effect on their cakes. And it's hard to replicate burlap, and you can't use it by itself because of all of the fibers that are there. So you've got to somehow protect it with a food-grade product like Flexique. So what I'm going to do is I've got some warmed-up Flexique here, and I'm simply going to cover the burlap. It dries very quickly and protects all of the fibers, locks in all the fibers so they don't come off on your cake. You can do both sides just to be safe. And in just a few minutes, it dries. I've done this one a little bit earlier, so you can see it locks in all of the fibers. It's protected. Now you can put it on your cake without contaminating it. Food grade protection. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing, you know that brides always like satin ribbons around their cake, right? On a border or in a bow or something like that. You know that if you put a satin ribbon on any kind of buttercream, it will seep right through the buttercream. You can see how it's discolored? And it becomes sticky all the way through. So, to protect your satin ribbon, take, again, some Flexique. This time you want to make sure that it's not very warm because heat will make it transfer through the ribbon. So you want to do just until it's liquid and it cools down a little bit, okay? Then you can cover the back of your ribbon with Flexique. Now when you put it on your cake, you see that even if you put it against some buttercream, it won't seep through. Isn't that neat? Good way to protect your satin ribbon from being disfigured by buttercream and making it food safe. Again, Flexique's a food safe barrier. All right, the next thing, flowers. Any kind of flowers. If you're going to use real flowers, you can't stick those into the cake because they may have some kind of pesticides or something on them. So all you have to do is dip the stem into some Flexique. Let it dry very quickly. Remember, cold makes Flexique set faster. So if you're working in an air-conditioned room, this will set up pretty fast. It's winter time here and the heat is on, so it'll take it just a little bit longer to set up. But once it does, you've got a food grade barrier for your stem of whatever flower you're going to be using, so you can stick that right into your cake. Another option is to use Mary Sanaga's edible floral tape, where you cut strips of wafer paper, dip them into your colored green Flexique, squeegee off the excess, and then after a minute or two, when it dries, wrap that around your stem and you've got edible floral tape. But this is dry to touch, so it's ready to use. You can stick that into your cake and you've got a food safe barrier for any flower stems. You can do the same thing with dowels or poles if you wanted to protect those. So the next thing we're going to talk about is protecting some fruit. Okay, so it's not a non-food item, but it's a cute trick. If you have fruit on display, if you're having a party, sometimes the fruit will start to spoil too quickly, especially in the summertime when it's hot. So all you have to do is take some Flexique, warm it up, make sure your fruit is in the refrigerator so it's nice and cold, and then just dip it into your Flexique, your hot Flexique. And because it's cold, and cold makes Flexique set faster, you've got a protection for your fruit. Now here's the trick. If the fruit is not quite ripe or not sweet enough, in this case it's strawberry, if I were to flavor the Flexique with a strawberry flavoring and then dip the strawberry into the flavored Flexique, that gives it an added boost in flavor in addition to protecting it. So you can now set this onto your display and not worry about spoilage. You could do the same thing with a bunch of grapes. So you've got a bunch of grapes that you wanted to also enhance in flavor and protect from spoilage. Dip them into your Flexique. If they're cold, they'll set faster. They're now protected against spoilage, and you can enhance the flavor. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is using Flexique to protect any kind of food item. Good example of that is an avocado. You know as well as I do that if you cut an avocado and leave a piece open any place on the shelf or even in the refrigerator, it will start to turn brown very quickly. If you coat it with Flexique, it provides an airtight, edible saran wrap, so to speak, protection for your fruit, seals out the air, gives it a food-safe protection, and will not brown. So if you take it out of the refrigerator the next day, you'll see that it's as fresh as when the first time you cut it. We did that example, you probably heard that in one of the other episodes where we did a test by cutting an avocado in half, coating one side, leaving it on the shelf, and the next morning it was still as fresh as when we first cut it. So edible saran wrap, protecting any kind of food items with Flexique. Okay, that's it. I told you it was going to be short. We're nearing the end of our content, so there's just a few more episodes going to be coming out on Flexique Fridays. Please like us and subscribe to the channel so you get notified when new stuff comes out. And we thank you for staying with us. Till next time, take care.